Good night, Malaysian 370. 4 words. The last words a human voice would ever transmit from that cockpit. 12 seconds later, the radar blip does not fade. It simply disappears. Not a crash, not a stall. It disappears. 239 souls. A Boeing 777, one of the safest airframes ever built. A flight path that should have taken 6 hours and ended in Beijing. Instead, it became the single most investigated disappearance in the history of aviation. Millions of dollars, 26 nations, a search area larger than the continental United States. And after all of it, we still do not know where Malaysia Airlines Flight 370 lies. Let's walk through exactly what happened, minute by minute. 0:41 a.m. MH370 lifts off from Kuala Lumpur. Routine. Clear skies. 1:01 a.m. The aircraft reaches cruising altitude, 35,000 feet. All systems nominal. 1:19 a.m. The final verbal transmission. Good night, Malaysian 370. Air traffic control clears the handoff to Vietnamese airspace. 1:21 a.m. The transponder goes dark. No distress call, no warning. Vietnamese air traffic control never makes contact. The aircraft has officially vanished from civilian radar. 1:30 a.m. Here is where the story turns from tragedy into mystery. Malaysian military radar, which the public would not learn about for days, tracks an unidentified aircraft turning sharply west, away from Beijing, back across the Malay Peninsula. 2:22 a.m. The last confirmed military radar contact, northwest of Penang Island, then heading out over the Andaman Sea. After this point, the aircraft is a ghost. 8:11 a.m. A British satellite company, Inmarsat, receives something no one expects. An automated hourly handshake, a ping, from a plane the world believes has already crashed hours earlier. 8:19 a.m. One final ping. Then silence, forever. 3 facts about this flight do not just defy explanation. They defy procedure itself. Anomaly 1. The turn. At 1:21, someone, or something, turned this aircraft back across Malaysia with pinpoint precision, threading it between Malaysian and Thai military radar coverage. This wasn't panic. This was navigation. Whoever or whatever was in control of that aircraft knew exactly where the radar gaps were. Anomaly 2. The $200,000 question. That final handshake at 8:19 a.m. investigators would spend years, and reportedly over $200,000 in specialized analysis, reverse engineering a single burst of data. Using nothing but the angle of that ping relative to the satellite, mathematicians calculated 2 possible arcs the plane could be on. One north, one south. The southern arc pointed toward one of the most remote stretches of ocean on Earth. Anomaly 3. The empty ocean. A 777 weighs over 200 tons. When aircraft break apart on impact, they leave behind a debris field. Search teams scoured tens of thousands of square miles. For 17 months, nothing. Then, in July 2015, a single flaperon washed ashore on Réunion Island, over 3,700 miles from the search zone. Confirmed as MH370s, but almost no other wreckage was ever found. For an aircraft that size, that is, statistically, almost impossible. Mid-roll subscribe hook. Before we go further into the theories investigators still argue about to this day, hit subscribe now. Because if a machine this size carrying this many people can vanish from the face of the earth without a trace, you need to know what else is out there that we can't explain. Tap that like button if this mystery has your full attention, and let's keep going. It's about to get stranger. So what actually happened up there? Investigators, pilots, and researchers have circled 3 dominant theories for over a decade. Theory 1, a deliberate act in the cockpit. A flight simulator recovered from the captain's home contained a practice route with coordinates leading deep into the southern Indian Ocean. Some investigators believe this points to a deliberate, premeditated diversion. It remains unproven, and it is a theory that has caused enormous pain to the families of both pilots who have publicly rejected it. We mention it only because it remains part of the official record, not as an accusation. Theory 2. A catastrophic electrical fire. A fire in the electronics bay could explain the transponder loss. Overwhelmed by smoke, the crew may have turned toward the nearest airstrip, explaining the turn before succumbing to hypoxia, leaving the aircraft to fly on for hours as a ghost plane, autopilot engaged until it ran out. Theory 3. A hijack toward Kazakhstan. Some analysts favor the northern satellite arc, arguing the plane was flown toward Central Asia under hijack. No radar station along that route ever reported the aircraft. Critics argue it's simply the least evidenced of the three. And then, there is the theory that lives at the edge of science and folklore. Deep beneath the southern Indian Ocean lies the Broken Ridge, a fractured undersea plateau riddled with fault lines, seamounts, and, some researchers claim, voids. Ancient sinkhole-like collapses in the ocean floor, large enough to swallow wreckage whole and bury it beneath decades of sediment before any search sonar could resolve a shape. It's a theory embraced more by internet investigators than oceanographers. Official searches have found no evidence of it, but it endures because it offers something almost comforting in its horror. An answer as to why, after everything, the satellites, the sonar, the decade of searching, the ocean simply refuses to give this aircraft back. 239 people boarded a routine flight to Beijing. Their families have waited over a decade for an answer the ocean has refused to give. Until wreckage is found and identified, Malaysia Airlines Flight 370 remains what it has always been. Not a mystery to be solved for entertainment. A question still open for 239 families who simply want to bring their loved ones home. If you want more real mysteries like this one, subscribe to Mystery Catch, and I'll see you in the next video.